Take you now outside to the Detroit riverfront. It is the 20th anniversary of the Riverfront Conservancy, which has really helped transform what we have and we enjoy right now along the Detroit River. And joining me now is the CEO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy, Mark Wallace. And you can see him because he's wearing the vest. He's on a construction zone right now. Hey, Mark, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Yeah, I'm wearing the vest so that I don't get hit by the people doing the actual work, but it's great to be here seeing so much work happening on the Detroit riverfront.
All right, so tell us exactly where you are along the stretch, because this is a 600-foot area that is a crucial connector. Tell us about it.
It is, it's really exciting. So we are right in between Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park and Riverfront Towers. And this section is the last piece of the riverfront that we need to connect from the Joe Louis Arena site, from Hart Plaza, all the way down to Rosa Parks. And it's pretty exciting. You can see the Ambassador Bridge in the background on one side, the sunrise is behind the towers here. But this piece is sort of the key to connecting these last assets. So we're really excited that it's well under construction.
Okay, so tell me how it all came about, because this is owned by the Detroit Development Authority, and it might be a small patch, but it still costs a lot of money. Tell us how all this is going to work.
No, that's right. This piece was originally going to be an expansion of the Riverfront Towers project. And as you know, there are 3 towers there right next to the old Joe Louis Arena site. This parcel was given to the Downtown Development Authority in lieu of property taxes, so the city controls this site, which we're really excited about. And they're very eager to give us this piece to make this final connection. So we are currently working on pouring and completing the seawall cap you see here behind me, which is essential to make sure the site is stable. Once that's done, we're going to put our electric in, we'll do our landscaping, make that connection. That is exciting because it opens up the boardwalk we built at Riverfront Towers, and it also connects to this huge project that you can also see at Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park. So there's a lot happening on the west side of the riverfront right now.
And so tell us a little bit about Centennial Park. It's still on mark to be opening up in '24?
It is, yeah, still on schedule to be open next year. And as you can see, there are many, many things happening right now. The first thing we needed to do was to fix the seawall, and there's a big project in that. You can see the people in the water actually taking down some of the old seawall and replacing it with stone. That's a really significant part of the project because it creates a great habitat for fish and wildlife, and it significantly cleans up a lot of the brownfield contamination. Every project that the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy does starts with a brownfield cleanup, and that's a big part of this project. Then you can also see the cranes working on the William Davidson Sport House. We're starting to build the hills that are going to have the Delta Dental Play Garden. There's a lot of work going on. The equipment is starting to arrive for the play garden and also for the water garden as well. So a lot of things happening, and that park is going to be epic when it finally opens up.
It's going to be amazing to see, and really the accessibility too, not only where you're standing right now, but the ability for people to access the River Point at this area is huge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for so many years, this thing was just covered with train tracks. This was really the back of our city. And it's amazing because you have an international border, this gorgeous water here, and again, the sunrise sunset views of this southern facing exposure. So we're really excited about welcoming people down here. And one of the things we recently opened was the Southwest Greenway, which is an old trail that connects from Michigan Central down to the waterfront. So now folks who live in Mexican Town, Corktown, all the Southwest neighborhoods can jump on that greenway right at Bagley Street, come down to the riverfront, and never have to fight the traffic on Fort Street, never have to fight the traffic on Rosa Parks. So really excited about those ways that we're reaching out into the community as well.
Mark, take a step back. I mean, this is 20 years in the making, and really a lot of foresight on the parts of people and companies that said we have to make this one of the best river walks in the country. And of course, we know that readers from USA Today say, hey, you guys are the best. But give us a little of perspective when you're celebrating 20 years of the Conservancy.
It's an amazing sort of worst to first story. 20 years ago, this is not a place you would have brought anyone you cared about. You wouldn't have brought a grandparent, you would not have brought a kid down here. And when General Motors took over the Renaissance Center and started that transformation, Matt Cullen, our board chair, really looked at that and said, how can the investment in General Motors inspire other people to do something bigger? That investment at GM was met with the investment of the Kresge Foundation and the City of Detroit, And those three partners came together to start the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. So for 20 years, every day, there's been somebody in that office banging on this vision, trying to bring more public access to the waterfront. And we're just so excited that this place has become such a beloved community asset. People, when you talk about the riverfront, they'll tell you two things. One, they love it down here, and two, they say everybody is down here, and that's what makes us so proud. This is such a diverse gathering place, and Detroit is a big city. We need those spots where people come together, where we can feel that community pride, where that community love can just grow and expand. So we're really thrilled about the progress we've made in 20 years, and in a couple years, this whole vision is going to be completed. So it's a special moment for us.
You know what, Mark, you and I have talked a lot over the years about how the river is healing in a lot of ways for people, and there are places along the way just to be able to sit and be. I was just there last weekend, just off of Cullen Plaza, super easy. But can you share with us some of your favorite spots that you like to kind of sit and enjoy?
I love the whole riverfront, but I certainly have my little special corners of the world. And you're right, the riverfront is not just a place to come on special days, it's also a place of community resilience, and it's a place people come when they're having hard times as well. And I've certainly walked down there. I lost my mom a couple years ago. This is a place where I came and turned to for that sort of solace and that peace. I really love some of the work that the city has done. Riverside Park, the city of Detroit knocked that out of the park. It's a beautiful place. I also really love Gabriel Richard Park, which is just on the far side of the Belle Isle Bridge. And that park is going to be much more accessible when we finish the last connection across the old Uniroyal site. So can't wait to get that open this fall and welcome people down to see that park in a different way.
Yeah, Mark Wallace, the CEO of the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. It's always good to see you, and glad you're right out there in the middle of all that to be able to show us the progress that's going on. Congratulations on all that's happening.